If reading smartly is a good practice, not retaining that information is a waste of that good practice. So it is important that you have a balance between what you read and what you retain, and this has to be done consistently. Well, memorization is way different from revision. What I believe is that memorization is the first image that you create about a topic in your mind, and revision is something that you reinforce what you have memorized. So in this video, we will learn about the smart memorization techniques. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Noor Saira, an endodontist and a part-time YouTuber. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a video. Well, there are two steps that lead to a smart memorization pattern. The first one and the most important one being that you have to remove all the blockage that you have in your mind. What do I mean by this? You have to declutter your mind, close all those multiple pages which are open in your mind, and try to focus on just one thing at a time. And I have made an entire video which is the first part of this series, that is how to focus like a machine. I would emphasize that you go ahead and watch that. That's the first thing and the most important step that you should do. And the second one is that customize some out of the box creative ideas of how to memorize certain things. Well, let us go ahead and see what are certain approved or scientifically proven memorization techniques. The first one being that of keywords. Now, when somebody ever asks you a direction on a road, a direction to a place, now what is the first thing that comes into your mind? The first thing that comes to your mind are certain landmarks which occur in between that route. And then you connect the dots between the landmarks and you create a direction and you give the address to the person who is asking for it, isn't it? Similarly, that's how the mind works when you try to memorize anything else. Well, doesn't it sometimes happen that you write essays and essays of answer on a topic and still you do not get all the marks? That's probably because the examiner did not find the keywords that he was looking for. So what is that I'm trying to say here? That every topic will have those important keywords. So when you learn a topic, it's important to first memorize those keywords and then connect the dots and make the answer. For example, if you're talking about herpes zoster infection, it's important to remember that it is basically a secondary infection. The primary infection is chickenpox. Secondary infection is called as varicella zoster. The facial nerve is involved. It is the Ramsay-Hunt syndrome that occurs. Now, once you have these main keywords, now you're able to connect the dots and you're able to write down the answer. So even the examiner will not sit and read the whole answer. He will just look at the keywords, which means or signifies that the student knows what he's writing. Similarly, you have to just memorize those important keywords and then fill in the blanks. This is how one of the memorization technique works. So how do I pick out the keywords and how do I make it, memorize this in my mind? Now, I have explained about the 3 levels of reading in one of my videos, which I will link it below. You can go ahead and watch that, about 3 levels of reading and how you should filter the information. Now, the first level is when you basically go ahead and read it briefly, and second is when you will find out the keywords. Now, these keywords are either to be highlighted or you will circle it or you will make a square out of it. Now, what happens is when you are encircling it or make a square out of it, this kind of information basically forms picture memories in your mind. Now, this leads us to the second category of memorization techniques, that is picture memory. Now, what happens when you make these keywords or when you make these highlighted information? Now, this creates something called as the picture palaces in your mind. That is, when I try to remember something, my mind will first go to that image that I have captured in my mind. For example, when I talk about an orange or when you remember an orange, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? The orange as a fruit or the word orange. It's the orange as a fruit, isn't it? Similarly, let's talk about something from oral pathology or oral medicine, say hemangioma. And when I talk about hemangioma, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? It's probably that red color patch on the face, that is on the baby's face. That's the first thing that comes to your mind. So it won't come to your mind about what are the clinical features of hemangioma, or where is it more commonly seen, or which part of the face is it more commonly seen. It is the image that comes to your mind. That's exactly that you have to take the advantage of. So when you highlight these keywords, or when you mark the circles in the keywords, and suppose that you're trying to remember a topic, your mind will directly go to that page. Okay, under hemangioma, I remember seeing something called as the pot wine stain. I remember seeing something as the strawberry pigmentation. And then your mind will start building up the information, or the things that you have tried to read and memorize from there. So it's important that you highlight those keywords. It's important that you square it out. It's important that you intentionally create a picture memory in your head, that I should remember this when I open this page, or when I remember about this topic, my mind should go to this page, and this is exactly what I should remember. Now this may look like it's very fairy tale in nature, or it's hypothetical in nature, but trust me, it definitely works. It worked for me when I was preparing for my examinations. So this is how picture memories are formed. And the second form of creating a picture memory is draw and learn. And most importantly, in topics like, or subjects like those of anatomy, where you draw and learn, this is exactly how your mind will also remember. Let's talk about, for example, we'll try to learn about the temporomandibular joint. When we draw the upper articular surface, or draw the lower articular surface, and draw the TM joint, or the disc in the center, and then we try to memorize by drawing the muscles of mastications. What is the origin, what is the insertion, what is the shape of the muscle. The temporalis is a fan shaped muscle, so when you draw that fan shape, you'll just remember to write, it's a fan shaped muscle. What is its function? All this will start coming up into your mind. So it is important to draw. It's important to color the arteries red, the veins blue in color, the muscles brown in color. Trust me, that's how the picture memories are formed. That's exactly how you will replicate in the exam. So you keep revising that. Probably towards the end, you will not have to spend so much time on revision. It will be embedded in your mind, and that's how you will replicate even in the exam. The third important thing is to create frameworks or flowcharts wherever possible. Now again, frameworks and flowcharts work as an interrelated picture memory format, but it does also help you build up the information. For example, let us talk about when we talk about mandibular nerve. The mandibular nerve is a third branch of trigeminal nerve. It comes out of the foramen ovale. From there, it divides into three. That's the a mixed branch, anterior and posterior division. And then you have the anterior division gives out multiple branches. The posterior division gives out multiple branches. In the posterior division, then you have the lingual, inferioralveolar, auriculotemporal branches. All this you can draw as a flow chart, or as a framework, and every time you look at it, that's how the image will get created in your mind. That's another form of remembering something. Another important thing is the fourth and most important thing that I would recommend doing is to make mnemonics, or short forms of certain lengthy things which you find very difficult to remember. Now the first thing when I ask you about a rainbow is probably the word Vibgyor will come into your mind, and you just have to expand the first letter, expand the letters to get the colors, that is V for violet and so on. Similarly, it's important that you make mnemonic for everything that you find difficult, and this will help you build up the information and help you recollect the information faster. There are so many available mnemonics. You can get it online, or from certain books or courses, or you can customize your own mnemonics. For example, there is a mnemonic for the cranial nerve. Cranial nerves, there are about 12 cranial nerves, and they recently discovered 13th cranial nerve. So you have a mnemonic for that as well, and only you have to remember that mnemonic, and then you can remember the which is the first one, which is the second one, which is the third cranial nerve, which is the fourth cranial nerve. You can easily remember it. Also, I have made some videos on anatomy, that is learn the nerves in 3 minutes, learn the arteries in 3 minutes. They have customized the mnemonics there. I will leave some links below. You can go ahead and watch that anatomy playlist as well. So the basic idea here is that you reduce the burden on your brain. So the more reduction in the burden that you cause to your brain, the more information you're able to retain in your mind, and the more information that you're able to consume also. So it's important that you use smart study techniques like this. That is, you remember keywords, build up the rest of the information. You make mnemonics, build up the information, create picture memory in your mind, either it be through keywords or through diagrams, or and another important thing is create frameworks or flow charts wherever possible, because not only does this help in the university examination, so that the lecturer will just see the headings of the flow charts and probably assume that you know everything, and also does it help in recollection of memory and producing it on the paper, or it helps in something called as active recall. And these are certain important techniques of memorization. So use smart study techniques, work hard, but also use certain smart study techniques that will help you save time and help you create an important first memory of that thing, so that when you reinforce it, it becomes much easier and it reinforces continuously like that over a period of time. Well, I hope this video has been helpful. Do watch the first two parts, that is how to focus like a machine, and also the Pareto principle, that is how to use productivity in your studies and how to multitask as well. And do wait for the further two videos of this series. Have a good day, and thank you for watching the video.